bit of mystery the whole time, but just didn't work out.
And it just didn't flow.
The whole time you're just like, what's going on? And then at the end it wasn't even satisfactory?
No.
That sucks.
Yeah. My other least favorite that I did not put on here was, crap. I should have put it on here. I think it's in my reading.
I haven't.
Wuthering Heights.
Wuthering Heights?
Wuthering Heights? Like the classic?
Never heard of it.
Really? By Emily Bronte? Oh, it's a classic.
Can I see the cover?
Yeah, here.
Oh, no, never heard of that. Wuthering Heights. Okay.
It's W-U-T-H.
Well, I thought it was W-I.
No. And you know what? I learned there is a withering and a weathering.
Wuthering Heights.
This is Wuthering Heights. And it's,
I don't like it already.
I hated it.
You can't even see the title.
It was not good. I hated it because it was very hard to follow because everything, I don't know if it's just because I'm like a millennial.
Short attention
No, I love
span.
classic books. I really do. Like, I have some serious favorite classics, but this one was just ridiculous. And it was hard to follow, and I was like, you know what? My life is too short
for
to
bad
be
books.
Reading this.
Exactly.
So I threw it away.
That's the advice I've actually gotten from a lot of older, long-time readers. They're just like, why waste your time on books you don't like?
Yeah.
And it's because I have to check a box that says it's done. That's why I am so like OCD when it comes to that.
So,
yeah, on Goodreads I have a few abandoned. You can add like multiple shelves. So I have started abandoned shelves, and they're like specified.
Oh, I should do that.
Abandoned, and I need to try later, just because like I got bored, but it wasn't a bad book.
Right.
Or abandoned because the audiobook was awful, which you encounter a lot.
Right.
Excuse me. Sometimes the narrators are just awful. Or the readers are just awful. They don't talk, like, they don't use the voices that they should be using, or sometimes the book is just so complex for an audiobook.
I read, so the one I was telling you about today, The Lovely Bones.
Oh, yeah.
So that is a really good book.
Why are we playing footsie?
Anybody who's ever read The Lovely Bones has all, like, lots of people.
I think I've read it. I'm gonna look it up right now.
It's the one. Well, I won't talk about it, but that I encountered that
with the audiobook.
I wanted to reread it because I read it in high school, I think, or after high school, but I picked up the audiobook and the author read it, and she was
That's
awful.
never good when an author reads their book. Unless it's a biography.
It was so monotone, and
I have read that one.
She wasn't doing voices at all. So
yeah.
So I picked up the book today just so that I could reread it.
We could talk about that book in our next podcast.
You want to?
Yeah, I've read it already, so easy homework for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I might have to reread it because it looks like I read it quite a while ago. I wonder. 2017.
That's not too bad.
No, that's here.
But in our world, we're reading like one book a week.
Yeah, which it's hard to remember. Unless it was an amazing book, it's hard to remember which books. That's why I had to Google if I read it.
It's the girl who is telling her own story.
Yeah.
She was dead. She was killed in the 70s.
It was like a murder.
Yeah.
Yep, I remember that. I think, I liked it. So my least favorite books that I read, I'm surprised I didn't abandon any.
I'm proud of you.
So two of them were awful. Awful in the sense that I gave it 3 or 2 stars. So the 3 stars was called Calling Invisible Women by Jean Ray. Basically, it was about these moms becoming invisible because they're older and nobody's looking at them. Like, men don't find them attractive. Kids take advantage of them. I started reading this from like a feminist perspective of like, okay, let's see how like older women feel about this. But it was just so cheesy because they literally went invisible.
Oh.
And nobody noticed they were invisible because you could still talk to them and nobody noticed them. And I mean, I liked the idea. I think that could be a good book, but it was just nothing cool happened. It's just like they were invisible and that's that. I'm like, this is a boring book. And then the end, of course, was super cheesy. Like a life lesson.
When was it
written?
Book.
Recently.
Really?
2012.
Because, not gonna lie, some of those cheesier books were done, that have been published, were written like 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s.
I think she just like wanted to be done with the book, and all of a sudden she just was like, shit, I gotta end it real quick.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done writing.
Happy ending. Or not.
Bye.
And then the other one I just finished last night. Or maybe 2 nights ago. It's called Freaks Like Us. And both these books are pretty short. They were under 300 pages.
I heard that one was good.
I liked it at the beginning. So
who wrote that one?
This one is by Susan Vaught.
Yeah. I'm talking about the same book.
It's only 240 pages. You read it? Maybe I found it from yours.
I haven't read it. It may be on my one to read.
So basically, a kid has schizophrenia, and another kid has ADHD, and the other one she's a selective mute.
Okay.
And the girl, the selective mute, goes missing. And it's told from the perspective of the schizophrenic kid. Uh-huh. So it was kind of cool to read his perspective. But I guess schizophrenics are very repetitive. And for me, I just got tired of reading the same thing over and over and over and over again.
Right.
Which I get that was his character, and that was like the goal, was to show how repetitive he is and how worried and all his voices. But it just didn't work as a book, I think. I liked the idea, but it got pretty old. I ended up like skimming through stuff because I was just like, okay, I've read this. You told me this already. Right. And I don't think I missed anything important. And then the end happened in the last like 1%. You know, like when you read an ebook, it shows you what percent you're done. And then like, it was in the epilogue is when the end was told to you.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Strange. It's not even fair.
No.
So you're reading this whole time like, where's this girl? Where's this girl?
I don't even understand the point of an epilogue.
Or prologue.
Yeah, they're useful. It's useful information.
Just keep it in the book.
Just put it in a chapter.
If this was actually a real book and I saw it said epilogue, I'd be like, no, not reading.
Yeah, exactly.
But because it's an ebook, I mean, I saw that it said epilogue, but then I read like the first bit of it. It's like on the same page instead of like, oh, turn the page for the rest of the epilogue. But yeah, that was irritating.
That's stupid.
So those books suck.
All right.
But they were quick reads, and I want to sometimes I read these shitty books when I'm waiting for good books.
Okay. So do you want to talk about your favorite books?
Favorite beers.
And books?
Yes, I do. But I just talked. Do you want to go first?
Sure. So I have read some fire books over the last
What are your 5 stars, Audrey?
3, all of them.
What you got?
So
I'm wondering if I've read them or if I should.
Okay, I'll start with my 5 stars. Since we left at John Grisham. Mm-hmm. Never Let You Go by Chevy Stevens.
You gotta talk about the book before we move on.
Okay, it's I didn't write anything, so I'm gonna just have to remember what it's about.
Clearly a great book.
No. So it's about abuse between a husband and wife and how she got out of her marriage.
What's it called?
Never Let You Go.
I kind of like that idea.
And it's physical abuse. So it's a
Is it
fictional
graphic?
Story. No, not really.
Never Let Me Go?
Never Let You Go by Chevy Stevens.
I'm gonna add it.
It's a
got it.
Fictional story about stories that happen every single day.
Came out last year.
Yes, very relatable.
I actually already have it as my want to read, so I must have saw it on your Goodreads feed.
It took me 5 days to read it, so
that's a really good book. Then
obviously good. My next 5-star was The Good Daughter by Karen Slaughter. This one was awesome. It's actually based on a true story of Karen Slaughter and her life.
Oh, so it's an autobiography?
She definitely fictionalized a lot of it. She personally, because after I was done with it, I did a bunch of research on it. And,
that means it's a good book.
Yeah. And she calls it fiction because a lot of the big part of the story was fiction, but the little stories in it.
So I took a class in college called creative nonfiction, where it's kind of what you're describing, where it's based on true stories, but you add a little fiction to it.
Right. She just added a little sugar on top. Just a little sweetener.
What was it called?
The Good Daughter by Karen Slaughter. And that's a story of families who are super, super poor and just make it work.
I'm surprised you wanted to read that after you read the Flat Broke one.
Well, this is like a good version of it. Because here's the thing is they didn't know that they were poor. They just had this huge imagination and just made it happen.
Oh, so the book describes their imaginary scenarios, maybe?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
Well, I'm looking at my review and I'm like, wait, is that a different book? Now I'm wondering if I'm thinking of The Glass Castle.
I think you might, yeah. That was the one that was imaginative.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Well, I gave it 5 stars. And you know what? I'm going to keep it that way because I enjoyed it.
What'd your review say?
My review says, if I could give this book 6 out of 5 stars, I think I would. This is a beautiful story of forgiveness and encompasses the importance of looking beyond the beginning layers to a story. Bravo, Karen Slaughter, and well done, Kathleen Erie, on a magnificent audio performance. I highly recommend
a good audiobook.
I highly recommend the audiobook if you have access. But that doesn't tell me what it's about. Okay, well,
it must
whatever.
be great, though. 6 out of 5 stars.
Book description is the stunning new novel from this international #1 best-selling author, a searing, spellbinding blend of cold case thriller and psychological suspense. So I am clearly thinking of the wrong book.
No, this one sounds better.
Oh, yeah! 2 girls are forced into the woods at gunpoint. I loved this book.
They're forced what?
2 girls are forced into the woods at gunpoint. One runs for her life. One is left behind. 28 years ago, Charlotte and Samantha Quinn's happy small-town family life was torn apart by a terrifying attack on their family home. This book was so good. Holy cow. You have to read it.
The Good Daughter.
The Good Daughter.
I love her last name, Karen Slaughter. That can't be a real name.
It's real. So everything I said about the book and the plot, that was all wrong.
That's a huge book. It's almost 700 pages.
It was huge.
So you read you listened to the audiobook?
Yes, and the girl who does the audiobook, she's pretty famous in like audiobook land.
All right, I just put it on my want to reads.
You have to. I read it on the from the library, and it came pretty quick.
Okay, cool. I'll add it.
Oh man,
I don't have any audiobooks in my queue right now, so perfect.
I vote we do an episode on that one.
Okay, sweet. A crime one?
Yeah, it's super crime.
All right, we tried one with John Grisham.
Yeah, but that wasn't really crimey.
It was a shit book.
It was not good.
Okay, I'm down. That's officially an episode. Stay tuned.
And for you listeners out there, go ahead and read it, because, oh my gosh, it blew my mind.
The Good Daughter. Yeah, read it, and then you can listen to our podcast coming soon.
Yep. And obviously write into beerbythebook@gmail.com and give us your review, because I want to read it on the episode. Okay, and then my next 5-star was The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna.
Love her! Oh my gosh, I saw your review of that, and I put it on hold. It's already been on hold forever for me.
Yeah.
But I have to read that book next.
I put it on hold probably 6 months ago, and it just came in. That's why I had to read it so fast. Because I was like, it's here!
I love her. I love her.
So my review on that one was, holy wow, Kristen Hanna is such a beautiful writer, and she takes the time on each character unlike any other author I've read. She has a way of forcing you to feel every emotion the character is feeling, and I can't thank her enough for telling this beautiful story in such detail.
I like how you think the authors. Like they're going to read your review.
Kristen Hanna does.
Uh-huh. She read yours.
She on
and she's like, you're welcome.
On one of those books, she rated it 5 stars, and she's like, what can I say? I wrote it.
I did it. I did a good job.
But
What's that one about?
That one is about living in Alaska.
Oh, that doesn't sound very exciting.
But it's a family that moved there, and then her dad has PTSD from the war.
Interesting.
So he gets like all crazy because of the time, like the light and the dark.
What year is it based in?
70s.
Interesting.
It was really good.
Very interesting.
And then at the end, it kind of just... I mean, you walk through life with this girl. It's pretty cool. Okay, I have 2 more 5 stars. Is that okay?
Nope. Absolutely not.
Well, too bad. I'm going to say them anyways.
Fine.
My next 5-star was Eleanor Elephant is Completely Fine.
Can I see the cover? I think I've seen that recommended.
It's on like a lot of recommended pages. Yeah. This was another one that took me forever to get. And it's just about this Scottish girl.
Ooh.
Scottish lady, I should say. She's 30. And she has worked in the same office for 12 years. She started there when she was like 18 or 19.
Oh God, is that going to be me?
Well, all I can say is it was relatable.
Oh God.
And she just kind of, it's just
I don't
want
to read a book about real life.
Well, it's funny because she like talks about, I guess, how awesome the lame life is.
Oh, I could relate then.
Yeah, when you said that, you're like, I love sitting around doing nothing.
Oh my gosh.
And I love coming home from work and doing nothing. And I was like,
Does anything bad happen to her? I'm scared.